and welcome. I'm Janvi from The Wire and I'm here today with camera person Atul Howale at Jawahar Bhavan in central Delhi, where there's an exhibition organized by the Safdar Hashmi Memorial Trust, which features over 200, nearly 300 writers and artists who have reacted to one prompt on 75 years of India's independence and what it means for them today. We'll be walking through this exhibition, speaking to some of the artists and the organizers, and we hope you'll join us for this journey. With me is Ram Rahman, the photographer, who's one of the founders of Sahmat and also one of the organizers of this exhibition. So could you start off by just telling us a little bit about what the idea was?
Oh, sure. Well, this is titled Sab Sahmat, which actually refers back to our Ayodhya exhibition many years ago, which was Sab Ayodhya. And here the idea of Sab Sahmat is that we are all together. And 75 years of independence, you know, the national celebrations are going to be of a certain kind, of a certain level, and also in a way a kind of strange nationalism now. And we felt that, you know, artists have always expressed in a deep sense their feeling of belonging to the nation, being involved in the cultural life, and also the political life and social life of the nation. And we gave, you know, this call for the small works, which is 15 inch by 15. We sent a canvas actually to all the artists, and here you see the over 200 results. And they're also writers, you know, poets, writers, photographers. For instance,
languages I noticed.
Yeah, for instance, and we've, you know, used the languages from all over India, because the work has actually come from many parts of India. Now, you know, the basis of this exhibition was an exhibition we had done almost 30 years ago in 1991, which was called Images and Words. And we thought, actually Rajan, who's, you know, kingpin in Sahmat, thought that it's a good time to revive that idea, and to do it in the way that we had done it, with these very simple jute panels.
Very different from a
which will be hung on bamboo stands when we take it on the street. Here, of course, we're doing it in a more formal situation in the Jawahar Bhavan. Courtesy and we'd like to also thank the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation for hosting the exhibition.
Have a look at some of the other pieces on display.
Well, let me talk about this one, because this is a work by Aruna Roy from, you know, Rajasthan, the famous Aruna Roy. And I've never seen her make a painting before. And she has made this for us. So it's interesting that you get people like that who are also joining in solidarity with the whole idea of
So the call went out not just to artists.
No, it went out to, you know, many different people, and including like journalists. So there are some journalists who've also written pieces here. And one of the ideas, of course, was to, you know, how are creative people now responding to the whole notion of the values of the national movement, and what do they mean now? Because the kind of politics, the kind of governance we are now facing, a lot of those values seem to be under extreme attack, and the institutions that were built after independence, and also the constitution is under grave threat. So you'll see people reacting to all those in many of the works.
Yeah, the idea of protest is running quite...
Yeah, you see this is Gargi Raina from Ahmedabad. a work in protest, and it looks a bit like this is Kashmiri.
It does.
And Gargi, of course, is Kashmiri, Raina. So it's a subtle reference,
Right.
you know. So you know the work has a sophistication.
Absolutely.
It's not in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there are some works which are in your face,
Yeah.
but let's see. These are interesting. These are young photographers. This is Vineet Gupta, and this is the mother of Junaid. You know, one of the young Muslim boys who was killed, lynched during, and it's a very moving piece. It's photographs, and it says, "Dear Ma, I am home. You wanted me to buy new clothes in Delhi, but fate has landed me in heaven, where you don't have marauding mobs. I am home, yours, Junaid." So, I mean, even I get choked up, you know, reading that. And this is Vaibhav Bhardwaj. And I think this is probably shot in Jantar Mantar, you know.
Right.
But it's the kind of irony of political symbols in our day and age now. And of course, Ambedkar as the main writer of the Constitution.
Yeah.
And this, of course, is from the Jamia protests against the CAA and NRC.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of the contemporary debates are coming in.
Yeah.
And he here again in a very subtle manner. And this very simple, but that word means so much now. Just itihas. Because it has become such a area of, and then rereading itihas. Actually, the wonderful thing that Aban and her people have done is the only curation which has happened here is how they have assembled the works next to each other. So, you know, referring to each other in a, and this is a piece by Gitanjali Shri, who just won the International Booker for her Hindi novel, translated into English. So Gitanjali, of course, has been an old Sahmat hand. By Nicola Durvasula, who now lives, I think she used to live in India, was an artist here, but now lives in London. But look at the fantastic thing she's done. And this whole idea, in a way, again relates to belonging and citizenship. And
So it's for people to add their.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And what a message, it's such a simple idea, but what a message it gives. And this is my work, which is actually not a canvas work.
Yeah.
But if you come to the front, it's actually a machine. It's called a wish machine.
Okay.
So you can, that's me
Yeah.
in the middle. That's my mother, that's Hussain. That, of course, is Ambedkar, Jawahar, Sonia, Francis Souza, the artist, Indira Gandhi, painting of Indira Gandhi. That's me again.
So what was the idea?
Well, the idea is it's a kind of memory wish machine of people who are in some ways now contentious, like Hussain, or even someone like Nehru, who's under great attack, and his philosophy. So in a way, it's looking back, and it's in a photograph that I took in Hyderabad many years ago,
Okay.
which was an optician's gate.
Okay.
So in a way, it's, you know, seeing, memory, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can interpret it your own way.
With the pin of Bhagat Singh,
Yeah.
the famous
And
man.
that's from the Kisan
Protest.
protests.
So with me now is Aban Raza, one of the organizers of this exhibition, whose own work is also displayed here. So Aban, could you tell us a little bit about the way you've displayed things and put things together, which I know you've had a big hand in, and also about your own piece a little bit?
So this exhibition has been in the making for a while, and the idea was to put text and visuals together and form a kind of a narrative with each, like with a thought or with a movement or with some concern which a couple of people are sharing together. So that's how we've designed each panel, and wherever there's some kind of narrative that is forming, we've put them together. So there are panels on the Andolan that the Kisans, the farmers did. Then there's some talking about the labor movement, some talking about their own concerns, about their own safety. There are many works on lynching. So if you have a look, you'll see some connection with the text. And mostly we have more visuals than text. So it's a play.
So what about how you responded to the prompt?
So this actually was me trying to see how canvas as a surface would work universally. So here I wanted to stick something and see whether it will hold it. So this is a collage. And उस time पे वो किसान आंदोलन चल रहा था, so I took the inspiration from there, and I made a sickle with, and the wind is blowing, so it's talking about the wind of change. And this then has been clubbed with other people who talked about the same movement. So this is clearly the Tikri border or the Singhu border, because the police had gone and put the and then the flags are higher, then there's a metro line. So clearly it's talking about the borders and the farmers protest. So
And when you first put out this call, who did you send it to? What was?
So this took and was designed to be an open call. So it was word of mouth, but it wasn't like crazy open where you post it on social media, because then you can't control it. And we wanted something that was talking about 75 years of India and where we are, like taking stock of that moment, trying to evaluate it and also see why we are where we are. So it wasn't directed, it was narrowed in that sense. So there was a call attached to it, a framework was given, and then word of mouth, and then whoever was interested, and one approached people who worked, and then they spread the message. So it was quite organic, it took a nice form.
The most significant thing to my mind about this exhibition is, one is that it is absolutely against any commercialization. I mean, you use the material is jute, and all big and small artists are all together. There is no distinction, and who goes with whom is also. And not only artists, there are photographers, there are writers. So, the entire art world is put together for a cultural pluralistic India, So that is what is significant about
it. And where do you plan to show it after this?
You see, we have several places where we are planning to take it. Two or three offers we already have. One is Shantiniketan, there is a cultural center. Then, Aruna Roy had come the other day.
She has a piece here.
And she wants to take it to Rajasthan. So already, there is this Sadbhavna thing, they are already taking it. So
not to galleries or museums?
No, not to galleries at all. Not to galleries at all. Not to galleries at all. This is actually taking the gallery out on the street. So, that's the thing.
Were you expecting this kind of response when you first put out the call?
Yeah, I mean, you see, the point is that, this whole thing that as if everything has gone is not true. I mean, there are enough people who are fighting. There are enough people who are actually, willing to come out. So that is that. So we were. I mean, the response is actually more than we expected to start with. But I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
So with me now is Anita Dubey, one of the artists whose work is displayed as part of the exhibition over here. So could you tell us a little bit about this piece?
So when I was thinking, for the longest time I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I remembered this wonderful poem of Rabindranath, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. And I thought, in times like this is really my prayer for this country, actually. Where we can hold our head high, where knowledge is free, and it's such one of the most beautiful poems written, just when we became independent. And I think 75 years down the line, we are at a point where we really need to reclaim a poem like this. So then I thought, like, what do I do? So sing a poem like that. So actually I wrote it 75 times.
Oh, wow.
So this piece has the same poem written with different pigments, and the pigments are marked out here. These are the pigments used, but layered, like it's 75 layers of the same poem, one on top of the other, because one poem for every year of our independence. So I guess this is just, and it says no, where the mind is without fear, just so that, and into 75, so that it's 75 times.
इनकी कहानी यहाँ लगी है. आप हमें ज़रा बताएंगे कि प्रॉम्प्ट को आपको जब मिला ये प्रॉम्प्ट, तो आपने क्या सोचा, कैसे ये कहानी आई?
देखो, ऐसा है कि जो कुछ देखते हैं, सुनते हैं, जो अनुभव करते हैं, जो लोग बताते हैं, या जो हम खुद पढ़ते हैं, तो वो सब मिलजुल करके हमारे ऊपर एक प्रभाव डालता है, एक असर डालता है. और फिर उसकी जो अभिव्यक्ति है, उसका जो एक्सप्रेशन है, तो वो अलग अलग ढंग से होता है. कभी कहानी के तौर के ऊपर, कभी उपन्यास में, फिर नाटक में. तो ये कहानी जो है वो एक तरह से प्रतीकात्मक कहानी है, जो हमारे आज के सामाजिक जो संबंध हैं, जो सामाजिक स्थिति है, उसको सामने लाने वाली कहानी है. और जैसा कि आजकल मेरे साथ और भी लोग हैं, बहुत कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हम जो पुरानी ट्रेडिशन है ना, उनको रिवाइव करें. जो ओरल ट्रेडिशन की कहानी लिखें हम लोग, जो है वो जैसे पंचतंत्र की कहानियाँ हैं, जैसे और लोक कथाएँ हैं, वैसी कथा को लिखें, जो कि छोटी होती हैं, लेकिन उनके अंदर बहुत गंभीरता होती है, बहुत मैटर होता है उनके अंदर, है ना. तो ये उसी तरह की एक कहानी है जो आप लोगों ने रखी.
आप सिर्फ पढ़ के सुनाना चाहेंगे?
देखिए, जिन्हें वे अपना विरोधी मानते थे, उन सब का सफाया कर देने के बाद वे लोग अपने गुरु के पास पहुँचे और कहा, आपके आदेश के अनुसार हमने उनका नामो निशान मिटा दिया है. पूरे देश में अब कोई वैसा नहीं बचा है जिसे हम नहीं चाहते. वर्षों तक भयानक हिंसा की है, लाखों का खून बहाया है. गुरु ने कहा, तुम लोगों ने बहुत बड़ा काम किया, अब तुम आराम से बैठो. अब मैं यहाँ आपको ज़बानी सुना देता हूँ. लोगों ने कहा आराम से बैठो, लेकिन क्योंकि वो खून बहाने के आदी थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, हमें तो खून बहाना है, बिना खून बहाए तो हमको आराम नहीं मिलेगा. तो जो खून बहाने के लिए गुरु ने उनको बहुत रोका, तो उन्हें बड़ा गुस्सा आ गया. उन्होंने कहा कि हमें खून बहाने से जो रोक रहा है, हम उसी का खून बहा देंगे, है ना. तो उन्होंने अपने गुरु के ही खून बहा दिया. तो कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि एक बार हिंसा की आदत, हिंसा का अभ्यास किसी सोसाइटी को, समाज को हो जाता है, लोगों को हो जाता है, तो फिर वो रुकता नहीं, फिर वो कहीं भी जा सकता है. फिर वो अपने गुरु के लिए भी कर सकते हैं हिंसा, है ना. तो ये इस कहानी का कुल मिला के मैसेज कह सकती हो, ये कह सकती हो कि कहानी क्या कहती है.
द वायर के और वीडियोस देखने के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन पर क्लिक करें। स्वतंत्र पत्रकारिता की आर्थिक मदद करने के लिए डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए लिंक पर जाएं और अपनी राशि चुनें।